What do we learn from history? How are we different from our forefathers? How is America different from its founding? What values divide us as a nation? And what values do we share? In October 2006, the American Civil War Center opened on the site of the historic Tredegar Iron Works. Its signature exhibit, In the Cause of Liberty, is the first of its kind to examine the causes, events, and legacies of the Civil War through Union, Confederate, and African American perspectives. A showplace of modern scholarship about the war, artifacts, and innovative museum exhibits, the center seeks to examine the racial, economic, social, political, and cultural issues that have their roots in the Civil War and still influence us today.
The mission of the American Civil War Center at Historic Tredegar is to tell the whole story of the conflict that still shapes our nation. To do that, we look at the causes, the course, and the legacies of the American Civil War from the three primary perspectives: Union, Confederate, and African American.
It is very exciting to me to have all three of those perspectives presented in one place in a way that I think captures the truth of what happened.
To come to Tredegar is to come to a place where history really happened. And to stand here and think about the enslaved men working along with the immigrants to make iron that built the American South, and then that cast the cannons that would be fired across the battlefields of the Civil War, and then to think about the iron cladding that would be on the iron-plated ships, you're somewhere real. You're not just at something that's been manufactured for this.
I remember the first time I came in this building, first thing we noticed was some old railroad bonds. I said, well, that's interesting, and right along with it was a lot of old Confederate money. And then further search, we found contracts for munitions. I remember one in particular was with the state of Georgia to be paid for over 20,000 bales of cotton. There was drawings for cannon, drawings for metal plate for the Merrimack. It was quite a treasure.
History, particularly in an area like Richmond, where we have a lot of history, is most important to the children. It must be taught so that they will regard and revere and pay attention to what is going on in the past, and hopefully not make some of the mistakes that have been made in the past as they live their own lives.
The whole project here is designed to educate, not to dictate, and not to shape people's ideas.
Our programming helps teachers with the use of artifacts, with the help of primary documents, but most importantly, what we do is we cause the kids to think. We actually get them involved in tasks, we get them involved in activities. They have not only an intellectual response to what it is they're learning, but they have an emotional response as well because they are invested in the programming.
We live in an exciting time when we have a whole new set of tools to introduce people to the particularity, the texture, the excitement of history. And the center's been pioneering in its use of digital technologies, of the internet, and of digital images and sound to really make the past come right into the classroom or come into the library, the study.
There's a new society called the Tredegar Society, and it is a group of young professionals who have come together to promote the American Civil War Center's mission. And they are doing that through volunteerism and through raising awareness in the community with their peers, with their bosses, with their families and friends. And it's just really exciting to getting these young people involved with this organization.
Since its opening, the center has garnered a wealth of media attention and praise for its unique approach to looking at the Civil War through the perspectives of the major participants. We have transformed this historic site into a robust community where visitors of all ages and backgrounds explore our shared history, what it means, and how the many legacies of the Civil War continue to weave their influence in the fabric of our daily lives. But where do we go from here?
The Centennial provides us a wonderful focal point, though not an end point, it seems to me, for our mission.
Just to give you an idea of what this experience theater will be like, because in the beginning I misunderstood myself. The opening scene, I believe, is going to be Jefferson Davis in church receiving the telegram, in St. Paul's Church, receiving a telegram from Lee saying that Petersburg has fallen and that he needs to evacuate Richmond. Well, when you're inside the theater, you feel like you're in the church. It's like being in a play, in a theatrical presentation, more than it is just seeing a movie. I think it will give people a really meaningful experience of what it was like to be in Richmond during those 3 days, and what the 3 points of view really were.
And the concept of building a gateway for people who come to Virginia to find out more about the war makes real good sense, and Richmond is the logical place to be that gateway, and Tredegar and their new relationship with the National Park Service are also the logical places to be that gateway.
We feel we absolutely have got to add some exhibit space. We desperately need programming space. A particularly interesting part of our plans is to expand our ability to host events here.
Well, for the first time, we really are stepwise in the process of making this river a real asset.
To me, I think one mark of the success of this venture already is that we are hungry to be able to do more.